March wind moving through the station, carrying a softer tone, not as sharp as winter mornings, not as warm as spring has known. It brushes past my collar like it's trying to say, March wind, gentle and low, whispering change I almost know. Not in flowers, not in green, but in spaces in between. Though the cold is still around me and the sky is pale and slow, there's a quiet kind of turning in this March wind, gentle and low. Paper cups and scattered sunlight on a bench along the square. People pause a little longer, like there's something in the air. Every season leaves a footprint before it walks away. March wind, gentle and low, moving where the last snows go, through the corners of the street, at my hands and at my feet. Though the trees are bare and waiting, and no blossoms yet can show, there's a small and steady promise in this March wind, gentle and low. Maybe hope is not a color, not a sudden burst of light, just a softer breath of weather, changing how the day feels right. March wind, gentle and low, leading where I need to go. Winter loosers quietly, without asking me to know. When the first green finally rises under skies that start to glow, I will think of this soft morning and the wind that told me so. Morning clouds are drifting slowly over streets I always knew. Winter's breath is still around me, but the sky feels somehow new. There's a softness in the silence like the air has changed its tone. A quiet hint of spring is rising through the cold I used to know. Not in flowers, not in colors, just a warmth beginning slow. Though the branches still are empty and the wind is pale and thin, there's a gentle kind of brightness moving quietly within. Footsteps echo near the station, coffee steam against the light. People standing with their jackets, yet the morning feels less tight. Every season leaves a shadow before it turns the page. A quiet hint of spring is calling from the corners of the day, like a song that's almost starting but not ready yet to play. Though the nights are still a little cold and the trees are standing bare, I can feel a small beginning floating somewhere in the air. Maybe change begins in stillness, not in sound but in a sigh. When the heart starts leaning forward without knowing why. A quiet hint of spring is shining through the gray of early March. Winter hasn't fully left us, but it's softened in the dark. When the first green finally reaches through the earth beneath my feet, I will think of this small morning when the season felt complete. The wind still carries winter through the corners of the town. Scarves are wrapped around the morning, coats are buttoned up and down. But something in the sunlight feels a little less alone. Almost a new season come, I can feel it in the air. Not in blossoms on the branches, but in how the light feels there. Though the cold has not yet left us and the trees are standing bare, there's a quiet kind of promise moving slowly everywhere. Footprints fading on the sidewalk, breath still turning into white. Yet the sky seems slightly clearer in the gentle noonday light. Every ending has a moment when it doesn't feel the same. Almost a new season rising through the stillness of the day, like a melody beginning, soft but finding its own way. Though the wind is cool against me and the nights are long and wide, there's a warmth I can't ignore now, growing somewhere deep inside. Maybe change is never sudden, never loud enough to hear, just a subtle shift in feeling when the heart leans forward near. Almost a new season waiting on the edge of early spring. Winter hasn't closed its chapter, but it's loosening everything. When the first small green appears there, under skies no longer gray, I will think of this small moment before it turns to May. Light on empty sidewalks, winter air still in my coat. Trees are standing bare and quiet, holding what they haven't shown. There's a softness in the sunlight I didn't notice yesterday. Before the first blossom opens, something's changing in the air. Not a color yet, not a promise, just a feeling somewhere there. Though the cold is still around me and the sky is pale and white, I can feel the quiet warmth growing slowly deep inside. Footsteps echo down the station, breath still fading into white. People moving without hurry in the tender morning light. Every season has a moment when it almost turns the page. Before the first blossom opens, there's a silence soft and new, like a song that's barely starting, but already pulling through. Though the branches still look fragile and the wind is cool and thin, I can sense the gentle season getting ready to begin. Maybe hope is just a whisper you can hear before it grows, living quietly in between what the heart already knows. Before the first blossom opens, I will walk this road again, with the winter slowly fading from the corners of my skin. When the flowers finally find me under skies no longer gray, I will remember this small moment at the edge of spring's first day. Comes through the window slowly, brighter than it was before. Winter shadows growing thinner on the quiet wooden floor. There's a warmth I can't explain in the stillness of the day. A softer kind of sunlight falling gently they feel it to today. Every season has a heartbeat you can hear before it shows. A softer kind of sunlight turning gray to pale gold, like a promise just beginning, still too quiet to be told. Though the wind is cool around me and the sky is wide and clear, there's a gentle sense of something drawing spring a little near. Maybe change begins in silence, not with flowers, not with rain, but in light that feels different on an ordinary day. A softer kind of sunlight shining through the early March, every shadow growing lighter in the calm before the start. When the blossoms finally open and the colder days are gone, I will think of this small morning where the warmth was first begun. I stepped outside this morning, same old street, same sky of gray, but something in the silence didn't feel the same as yesterday. The wind was cool but gentler, like it had less to say. The air feels different today, though nothing's really changed. Same coat on my shoulders, same quiet narrow lane, but somewhere in the distance a softer tone remains, like winter slowly loosening its hold on early March day. Bare trees still above me, no blossoms yet in sight, but light moves through the branches in a warmer kind of white. I can't explain the reason, only feel it in my chest. The air feels different today, like something's on its way. Not loud enough to name it, but strong enough to stay. Even in this simple moment, standing where I've always stood, there's a quiet sense of promise in the air that feels this good. Maybe change begins like this, not in color, not in sound, but in the way your heart responds to something not yet found. The air feels different today as I walk these streets again. Winter hasn't fully left, but it's not the same as then. When the first green finally appears and the colder nights are through, I'll remember this small morning when I somehow knew. I still wear my winter coat now, buttoned high against the breeze. Morning air is faintly colder, moving softly through the trees. But sunlight lingers longer on the quiet avenue. Coat still on, my heart slightly warm, like a season turning slow. Not a blossom in the garden, still I feel it start to grow. Though the wind is cool around me and the sky is pale and white, there's a gentle kind of brightness waking somewhere deep inside. Cafes open with the daylight, steam is rising from a cup. People walk a little lighter as the city's waking up. Nothing dramatic, nothing sudden, just a softness in the air. Coat still on, my heart slightly warm. In this quiet shade of March, winter hasn't truly left yet, but it's loosened up, it's scarred. Every ordinary moment feels a little more alive, like a small and silent promise that the spring will soon arrive. Maybe hope is something fragile you can almost overlook, hidden in the way the sunlight falls across a page you read. Coat still on, my heart slightly warm, as I walk the same old street. Every breath feels just a little less like cold beneath my feet. When the flowers finally open and the skies grow bright and blue, I will think of this small morning when I quietly knew. Snow is gone from the sidewalks, only traces in the shade. Morning feels a little lighter, like a quiet change was made. I can hear it in the distance, in the way the wind has turned. The day went to let go slowly, nothing dramatic in the sky, just a softer kind of silence as the colder nights went by. Though the trees are still uncolored and the air is cool and clear, not in quite the same old rush. Sunlight stays a little longer on the windows, pale and hush. Every season leaves in stages, not all at once, not overnight. The day winds to let go gently, I could feel it in my chest, like a door left slightly open, letting in a little rest. Though the nights still carry shadows and the wind is fading thin, there's a quiet sense of promise where the cold had once been. Maybe endings are not endings, just a turning of the light. When the gray begins to soften into something warm and bright. The day when to let go finally wasn't marked by bells or signs, just a subtle shifting, breathing in the rhythm of the time. When the blossoms start to find the sun, the sky's no longer gray, I will think of the small morning when the cold began to sway.
Branches drawing thin shadows on the pavement, still and wide. Morning slips between the silence like a tide that's turned inside. Nothing blooming yet above me, still the sky feels soft and near. Light through bare branches falls in quiet gold, not a single flower open, yet the air is less cold. Though the trees are standing fragile against a fading gray, there's a gentle kind of brightness finding its own way. Windows catching early sunlight, dust is turning into glow. People walking just a little less like winter, more like slow. I can feel it in the stillness, like a breath before a word. Light through bare branches, shining soft and thin, not a change too cold, dramatic.
There's something about this morning I can't explain in words, not in color, not in sunlight, just in how my heart is stirred. Though the trees are still unflowered and the air is faint and thin, there's a quiet kind of brightness settling under my skin. People walking down the crosswalk, hands still buried in their coat, breath still fading into white, but softer than it was before. Every season shifts in silence long before it shows its fate. There's something about this morning, like a door left slightly wide. Winter hasn't fully gone yet, but it stepped a bit aside. Even in this simple hour, standing where I've always been, I can feel a small beginning, slowly moving in. Maybe hope begins like this, not with blossoms in the park, but in the way the daylight lingers a little longer in the dark. There's something about this morning that I'll remember when the first green breaks the pavement and the warmer days begin. When the air turns fully gentle and the sky grows wide and blue, I will think of this small moment when I somehow knew. Morning light along the platform, breath still floating in the air, coats are wrapped around the silence, winter lingering there. But something in the way the sunlight falls a little differently. When the cold begins to fade, it doesn't leave in one bright day. It loosens slowly, softly, in a quiet kind of way. Though the wind is still around me and the trees are standing bare, there's a warmth beneath the surface growing somewhere in the air. Shadows shorter than before now, windows shining pale and clear, people walking just a little, less like winter, more like near. Every season changes gently, long resting on the pavement, cold still clinging to the air. Winter hasn't fully left yet, but it's lighter everywhere. There's a quiet kind of movement in the way the daylight stays. A small beginning starts to show, not in blossoms bright and clear, but in how the wind feels softer, whispering that spring is near. Though the trees are still uncolored and the sky is pale and white, there's a gentle sense of turning, moving slowly deep inside. Shadows stretching less than yesterday, footsteps calm along the street, people walking without hurry, like the day feels incomplete. Every season has a moment, barely noticed when it comes. A small beginning growing slow, like a melody not loud, not a sudden burst of color, just a change beneath the clouds. Though the cold still lingers faintly and the nights are cool and thin, there's a quiet kind of brightness taking root within. Maybe hope is something fragile you can miss if you don't see, hidden in an ordinary early March morning breeze. A small beginning feels enough as I walk this road again. Winter hasn't closed its chapter, but it's reaching toward the end. When the flowers finally open under skies so wide and blue, I will think of this soft morning when the change first grew. Gray has started turning lighter in the corners of the sky. Winter's breath is barely holding on as days go passing by. I can feel it in the daylight, staying just a little more. Spring almost here now, in the quiet of the air. Not a blossom on the branches, still I know it's somewhere there. Though the nights are faintly colder and the wind is soft and clear, there's a warmth I can't deny now. Spring is almost here. Windows open just a little, letting in a tender breeze. People standing in the sunlight with a calm and ease. Every season turns in silence long before it's understood. Spring almost here now, like a promise barely said. Not in colors bright and rising, but in thoughts inside my head. Though the trees are still unflowered and the sky is pale and near, there's a gentle shift within me. Spring is almost here. Maybe hope is just a feeling that arrives before the sign. Living softly in the daylight, between the lines of time. Spring almost here now, as I walk this road once more. Winter hasn't fully left yet, but it's not what it was before. When the first green finally finds me under skies so wide and clear, I will remember this small morning when spring was almost here. March wind moving through the station, carrying a softer tone. Not as sharp as winter mornings, not as warm as spring has known. Brushes past my collar like it's trying to say, March wind, gentle and low, whispering change I almost know. Not in flowers, not in green, but in spaces in between. Though the cold is still around me and the sky is pale and slow, there's a quiet kind of turning in this March wind, gentle and low. Paper cups and scattered sunlight on a bench along the square. People pause a little longer, like there's something in the air. Every season leaves a footprint before it walks away. March wind, gentle and low, moving where the last snows go. Through the corners of the street, at my hands and at my feet, Though the trees are bare and waiting, and no blossoms yet can show, there's a small and steady promise in this March wind, gentle and low. Maybe hope is not a color, not a sudden burst of light, just a softer breath of weather, changing how the day feels right. March wind, gentle and low, leading where I need to go. Winter loosers quietly, without asking me to know. When the first green finally rises under skies that start to glow, I will think of this soft morning and the wind that told me so. Morning clouds are drifting slowly over streets I always knew. Winter's breath is still around me, but the sky feels somehow new. There's a softness in the silence, like the air has changed its tone. A quiet hint of spring is rising through the cold I used to know. Not in flowers, not in colors, just a warmth beginning slow. Though the branches still are empty and the wind is pale and thin, there's a gentle kind of brightness moving quietly within. Footsteps echo near the station, coffee steam against the light, people standing with their jackets, yet the morning feels less tight. Every season leaves a shadow before it turns the page. A quiet hint of spring is calling from the corners of the day, like a song that's almost starting but not ready yet to play. Though the nights are still a little cold and the trees are standing bare, I can feel a small beginning floating somewhere in the air. Maybe change begins in stillness, not in sound but in a sigh, when the heart starts leaning forward without knowing why. A quiet hint of spring is shining through the gray of early March. Winter hasn't fully left us, but it's softened in the dark. When the first green finally reaches through the earth beneath my feet, I will think of this small morning when the season felt complete. wind still carries winter through the corners of the town. Scarves are wrapped around the morning, coats are buttoned up and down. But something in the sunlight feels a little less alone. Almost a new season coming, I can feel it in the air. Not in blossoms on the branches, but in how the light feels there. Though the cold has not yet left us and the trees are standing bare, there's a quiet kind of promise moving slowly everywhere. Footprints fading on the sidewalk, breath still turning into white. Yet the sky seems slightly clearer in the gentle noonday light. Every ending has a moment when it doesn't feel the same. Almost a new season rising through the stillness of the day, like a melody beginning, soft but finding its own way. Though the wind is cool against me and the nights are long and wide, there's a warmth I can't ignore now, growing somewhere deep inside. Maybe change is never sudden, never loud enough to hear, just a subtle shift in feeling when the heart leans forward near. Almost a new season waiting on the edge of early spring. Winter hasn't closed its chapter, but it's loosening everything. When the first small green appears there, under skies no longer gray, I will think of this small moment before it turns to May. Light on empty sidewalks, winter air still in my coat. Trees are standing bare and quiet, holding what they haven't shown. There's a softness in the sunlight I didn't notice yesterday. Before the first blossom opens, something's changing in the air. Not a color yet, not a promise, just a feeling somewhere there. Though the cold is still around me and the sky is pale and white, I can feel the quiet warmth growing slowly deep inside. Footsteps echo down the station, breath still fading into white. People moving without hurry in the tender morning light. Every season has a moment when it almost turns the page. Before the first blossom opens, there's a silence soft and new, like a song that's barely starting, but already pulling through. Though the branches still look fragile and the wind is cool and thin, I can sense the gentle season getting ready to begin. Maybe hope is Before the first blossom opens, I will walk this road again, with the winter slowly fading from the corners of my skin. When the flowers finally find me under skies no longer gray, I will remember this small moment at the edge of spring's first day. Comes through the window slowly, brighter than it was before. Winter shadows growing thinner on the quiet wooden floor. There's a warmth I can't explain in the stillness of the day. A softer kind of sunlight falling gently on my face. Not as cold as yesterday now, something's quietly changed. Though the air still holds the winter and the trees are standing bare, there's a small and steady comfort floating somewhere in the air. Coffee steam against the morning, city waking far away. People walking without hurry, like they feel it too today. Every season has a heartbeat you can hear before it shows. A softer kind of sunlight turning gray to pale gold, like a promise just beginning, still too quiet to be told. Though the wind is cool around me and the sky is wide and clear, there's a gentle sense of something drawing spring a little near. Maybe change begins in silence, not with flowers, not with rain, but in light that feels different on an ordinary day. A softer kind of sunlight shining through the early March, every shadow growing lighter in the calm before the start. When the blossoms finally open and the colder days are gone, I will think of this small morning where the warmth was first begun. stepped outside this morning, same old street, same sky of gray. But something in the silence didn't feel the same as yesterday. The wind was cool but gentler, like it had less to say. The air feels different today, though nothing's really changed. Same coat on my shoulders, same quiet narrow lane. But somewhere in the distance, a softer tone remains, like winter slowly loosening its hold on early March day. Bare trees still above me, no blossoms yet in sight, but light moves through the branches in a warmer kind of white. I can't explain the reason, only feel it in my chest. The air feels different today, like something's on its way. Not loud enough to name it, but strong enough to stay. Even in this simple moment, standing where I've always stood, there's a quiet sense of promise in the air that feels this good. Maybe change begins like this, not in color, not in sound, but in the way your heart responds to something not yet found. The air feels different today as I walk these streets again. Winter hasn't fully left, but it's not the same as then. When the first green finally appears and the colder nights are through, I'll remember this small morning when I somehow knew. I still wear my winter coat now, buttoned high against the breeze. Morning air is faintly colder, moving softly through the trees. But sunlight lingers longer on the quiet avenue. Coat still on, my heart slightly warm, like a season turning slow. Not a blossom in the garden, still I feel it start to grow. Though the wind is cool around me and the sky is pale and white, there's a gentle kind of brightness waking somewhere deep inside. Cafes open with the daylight, steam is rising from a cup. People walk a little lighter as the city's waking up. Nothing dramatic, nothing sudden, just a softness in the air. Coat still on, my heart slightly warm. In this quiet shade of March, winter hasn't truly left yet, but it's loosened up, it's scarred. Every ordinary moment feels a little more alive, like a small and silent promise that the spring will soon arrive. hope is something fragile you can almost overlook, hidden in the way the sunlight falls across a page you read. Code still on, my heart slightly warm as I walk the same old street. Every breath feels just a little less like cold beneath my feet. When the flowers finally open and the skies grow bright and blue, I will think of this small morning when I quietly knew. Snow is gone from the sidewalks, only traces in the shade. Morning feels a little lighter, like a quiet change was made. I can hear it in the distance, in the way the wind has turned. The day went to let go slowly, nothing dramatic in the sky, just a softer kind of silence as the colder nights went by. Though the trees are still uncolored and the air is cool and clear, there's a warmth beneath the surface telling me that spring is near. People linger at the corners, not in quite the same old rush. Sunlight stays a little longer on the windows, pale and hush. Every season leaves in stages, not all at once, not overnight. The day went to let go gently, I could feel it in my chest, like a door left slightly open, letting in a little rest. Though the nights still carry shadows and the wind is fading thin, there's a quiet sense of promise where the cold had once been. Maybe endings are not endings, just a turning of the light. When the gray begins to soften into something warm and bright. The day went to let go finally, wasn't marked by bells or signs, just a subtle shifting, breathing in the rhythm of the time. When the blossoms start to find us on the skies no longer gray, I will think of the small morning when the cold began to sway. Branches drawing thin shadows on the pavement, still and wide. More
slips between the silence like a tide that's turned inside. Nothing blooming yet above me. Still the sky feels soft and near. Light through bare branches falls in quiet gold. Not a single flower open, yet the air is less cold. Though the trees are standing fragile against a fading gray, there's a gentle kind of brightness finding its own way. Windows catching early sunlight, dust is turning into glow. People walking just a little less like winter, more like slow. I can feel it in the stillness, like a breath before a word. Light through bare branches, shining soft and thin. Not a change you call dramatic, but it's moving from within. Even in this quiet morning, with no blossoms yet in view, there's a quiet sense of something breaking through. Maybe hope begins in places where the world still looks the same, hidden in a way that daylight whispers without name. Light through bare branches stays a little longer now, every shadow growing lighter on the street I'm walking down. When the flowers finally find us under skies of open blue, I will think of this small moment when the light first came through.
Curtains moving in the daylight, silver sky but feeling new. Coffee cooling by the window, same old street, familiar view. Nothing changed in front of me, still something feels rearranged. There's something about this morning I can't explain in words, not in color, not in sunlight, just in how my heart is stirred. Though the trees are still unflowered and the air is faint and thin, there's a quiet kind of brightness settling under my skin. People walking down the crosswalk, hands still buried in their coat, breath still fading into white, but softer than it was before. Every season shifts in silence long before it shows its fate. There's something about this morning, like a door left slightly wide. Winter hasn't fully gone yet, but it stepped a bit aside. Even in this simple hour, there's something about this morning that I'll remember when the first green breaks the pavement and the warmer days begin. When the air turns fully gentle and the sky grows white and blue, I will think of this small moment when I somehow knew.
Morning light along the platform, breath still floating in the air. Coats are wrapped around the silence, winter lingering there. But something in the way the sunlight falls a little differently. When the cold begins to fade, it doesn't leave in one bright day. It loosens slowly, softly, in a quiet kind of way. Though the wind is still around me and the trees are standing bare, there's a warmth beneath the surface growing somewhere. Shadows shorter than before now, windows shining pale and clear, people walking just a little, less like winter, more like near. Every season changes gently, long before we understand. When the cold begins to fade, you can feel it in your chest, like a door that's barely open, letting in a little rest. Even in this simple morning, nothing loud and nothing grand, there's a quiet sense of promise moving through the land. Maybe hope is not a blossom, not a sudden burst of green, but the softness in the daylight where the frost has been. When the cold begins to fade, I will walk this road again, with the winter slowly drifting from the corners of my skin. When the first true warmth surrounds me under skies so white and blue, I will think of this small moment when the change first
Morning resting on the pavement, cold still clinging to the air. Winter hasn't fully left yet, but it's lighter everywhere. There's a quiet kind of movement in the way the daylight stays. A small beginning starts to show, not in blossoms bright and clear, but in how the wind feels softer, whispering that spring is near. Though the trees are still uncolored and the sky is pale and white, there's a gentle sense of turning, moving slowly deep inside. Shadows stretching less than yesterday, footsteps calm along the street, people walking without hurry, like the day feels incomplete. Every season has a moment, barely noticed when it comes. A small beginning growing slow, like a melody not loud, not a sudden burst of color, just a change beneath the clouds. Though the cold still lingers faintly and the nights are cool and thin, there's a quiet kind of brightness taking root within. Maybe hope is something fragile you can miss if you don't see, hidden in an ordinary early March morning breeze. A small beginning feels enough as I walk this road again. Winter hasn't closed its chapter, but it's reaching toward the end. When the flowers finally open under skies so wide and blue, I will think of this soft morning when the change first grew. Gray has started turning lighter in the corners of the sky. Winter's breath is barely holding on as days go passing by. I can feel it in the daylight, staying just a little more. Spring almost here now, in the quiet of the air. Not a blossom on the branches, still I know it's somewhere there. Though the nights are faintly colder and the wind is soft and clear, there's a warmth I can't deny now. Spring is almost here. Windows open just a little, letting in a tender breeze. People standing in the sunlight with a calm and ease. Every season turns in silence, long before it's understood. a promise barely said. Not in colors, bright and rising, but in thoughts inside my head. Though the trees are still unflowered and the sky is pale and near, there's a gentle shift within me. Spring is almost here. Maybe hope is just a feeling that arrives before the sign. Living softly in the daylight, between the lines of time. Spring, almost here now, as I walk this road once more. Winter hasn't fully left yet, but it's not what it was before. When the first green finally finds me under skies so wide and clear, I will remember this small morning when spring was almost